and welcome to Learning from Leaders. Your host, Patrick Dewar. I have a great show for you today. Ever heard of SEO? Sure you have if you have a website. That's search engine optimization. Well, today I've got an expert in that area to help you understand how to be more effective online. Now, I know several of my shows recently have been about web traffic, web design, how to make money on the internet, things of that nature. Why? Well, because quite honestly, it's the biggest boom in front of us, even though it's been quite honestly booming for the last 10 years. You see, we're in a global economy now. No matter what's happening in our arena, in our economy having any kind of tough going, the fact is that the internet really does unify the world in a major way. So we need to have the most effective website or websites that we can. You know, you look around today and you see some people have their website, but now they have a blog. But then they've got to make sure that you have your social media out there, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your MySpace, your whatever. And there's like hundreds of those that you can be a part of. And everybody's like, well, how do I even get out there and have an impact? One of the key components is how you have organized your website in a way that the search engines can actually find you, because you can really mess it up. And we want to talk about that today. My guest today is Kevin Lamb. Kevin's the founder of Fair Ads Network, fairadsnetwork.com, and also TexasSEO.com. He started in the internet when he was a teenager and then had a 5-year stint in the military, and all the time while he was in the military was still building his online presence. He got out of the military, started a business, and within just a very, very short period of time, built his business up to over $20,000 a month and growing, and that's from one of his companies that he's been working on, and building. With that kind of track record, I had to get him on the show, and I know that what he'll show you are some real keys to helping you get found on the internet. Kevin, thank you for being on the show.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Well, it's always good. One of the first things that a lot of people want to know is, Kevin, what's your story? How'd you get started doing this SEO and all the internet stuff that you do?
Well, actually, to be honest, the SEO, if you're asking the question that way, I really didn't get into SEO to do it for other clients until really this year. It's only been about 6 months since I actually started Texas SEO. But before that, you know, I've been into it for my own, whether marketing other people or other products, and kind of just affiliate marketing stuff, you know, so not really doing it for clients. But recently I saw the TexasSEO.com was on sale. I was like, hey, you know, that's an opportunity. So I went ahead and bought it, and I started running with it. And just within 6 months, our company is now doing over $20,000. And of course, the way I put it out there is that we're not really just, I mean, we're putting our money where our mouth is, basically. Right now, we're sitting at number 2 for Texas marketing. Out of 85 million results, number 2. And then it's Dallas marketing firm, we're already number 2. And it's just that, you know, before we actually help somebody else, we have to help ourselves and prove ourselves that we can do the same thing. But I mean, SEO, I always liked the idea and the concept of it. And then having the opportunity to do it for someone else and help them with their business has been really a fun opportunity.
Great. How'd you get into the whole internet? I mean, your generation was born with a keyboard in their hand.
Well,
So,
well,
with that in mind.
That's true, but the thing is, actually, we were kind of poor to begin with. I didn't have a computer really until like the 10th grade, so I was like probably about 15 or something, and I always wanted one when I was in elementary. They had this keyboarding program, it's the keyboarding, so I used to learn how to type, so I write stories and stuff, and I was barely learning English because I was born in Vietnam, came to the States when I was about between 4 and 5. And then they held me a year back saying that I just not fast enough or whatever, so I was, I guess, a slow kid. I didn't start talking until I was about 3, so everybody thought I was mute. But then once things started picking up, for some reason, I love to learn. So when I'm writing these stories, I'm winning these little things. They take me out to McDonald's during school hours, so that was fun. I was like the teacher's pet. But after, I think, the 4th grade, I didn't have a computer until like another 6 years later, 7 years later. But then I started dabbling onto the internet at 17, and I didn't really make money until a year later. I was wasting money, thousands of dollars, because I had nowhere to go. You know, I didn't know what to do. But then finally, when I was 18, I started banking, started bringing in money like crazy. And by the time I was 19, I paid off my parents' home. I helped them pay it off. That was done with.
That's excellent.
And then that's when I decided, okay, I've done everything I wanted to do. Let's go into the military, because that's what I wanted to do when I was younger, to give back to my country, basically, because it was the U.S. Army that accepted me and my family into the States. Otherwise, we would have been still refugees in Malaysia or something. So it's really been a crazy ride. I mean, I've enjoyed the time that I was in the Navy, but it's time to go, you know. I did my time, I served my country, and now it's time to do something for myself and my family. So it's been a lot of fun.
That's great. That's great. So, okay, so you get into, you get out of the military, but no, let me back up just a little bit, because you told me that you were actually building a lot of your internet presence while you were in the military. Mm-hmm. How did that work? Because I'm thinking they probably work you full days.
Oh, God, it's tough. I mean, there's times we're working like 95, 96 hours a week. Then on top of that, I spend like 2 hours on the phone with my wife almost every day. At the time, we were disengaged. But, I mean, I sleep maybe 3 hours a night. I was a go-getter. I had to get things done. I knew that I keep running my business, because once the military is up, what am I going to do after that? Right. You know, so I couldn't just drop everything and let it go.
So what were you doing online? What kind of sites were you running, or what were you doing?
I had a site called Networker's Debut. Basically, I was reviewing like the gurus out there, or different products and different services. I kind of write a review about them and market their business with an affiliate link. And that was doing fairly well. When I launched it, I can't remember all the numbers, but my first hour, most significantly, with my first hour launch, it crashed, but we still made $1,000 the first hour.
Yeah, it's better than poking the eye.
It took me a month to build it up, and had a little bit of problems with my wife because she was there at the time. So I'm working, my military, doing the business, and trying to spend time with her. But she didn't know that I was making all this money before. She never knew until when she came to Japan with me. I was stationed there for 3 years. But she was there, she's sitting down, and I'm like, hey, let me show you something. And then, like, this money's just coming in. She's like, what? Refresh the PayPal account. I was like, what? There's more money. It's like every time she refreshes, there's more money. So she's just loving that. And at the time, I was an airman, E3. And I paid $15,000 for her to come over there with me over a period of 4 months. And $15,000 was pretty much what an airman makes in a year. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, so they didn't know that that's the type of money that I was making. And my wife didn't know about our wedding stuff that I paid about close to $15,000 also. So within a year, I already spent $30,000.
Right.
And they just didn't know where I was getting the money from. I just didn't know how to tell them.
Well, it's not a bad deal. I know that when we talk about making money online, one of the things that's a real key is having somebody that's actually done it. There's lots of people out there that give you information on, yes, you too can learn this and that and the other, and it only costs so much. And then what do you do with it? You see, one of the things that we found is that is information power? No, it's not. Information by itself is just dust that collects in your head. Information utilized, that can be turned into power. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk about how you can use some of the key components to what has created such massive success for Kevin in your business so that you too can do the same. We'll be right back.